Real Roots Radio, FM 106.7 Wilmington, 105.5 Eaton, and 100.3 Xenia.
Thank you for joining us on Real Roots Radio, WBZI, WKFI, and WEDI, and streaming on the World Wide Web at realrootsradio.com. We have a special guest with us right now. Psychology scholar and author Joey Florez is joining us to talk about music and the brain, an interesting subject that we have chatted before about here on Real Roots Radio. Joey, how are you doing this morning, sir?
Good. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Thanks for having me on.
Well, certainly appreciate you coming on to talk about this. Now, I know you've done a lot of research on the subject, and one question that I've always had is I've always heard of white noise helping people to sleep, kind of like a box fan in the background. Some people leave a TV on, things like that. Would music be able to accomplish the same thing?
I believe it can. Sleep is very important for human health and well-being. Up to 70 million or so adults in the U.S. report having some type of sleep problem. In numerous studies, music has consistently shown effectiveness in improving subjective sleep quality, whereas research into more objective sleep parameters has not been too consistent. Overall, listening to music is a widely used tool to help with sleep. Many people report that music without vocals in particular can be very beneficial in inducing sleep in people with insomnia. Classical music, ambient sounds are frequently effective. In 2023, I released an album titled Ocean Sounds for Deep Sleep, which is a compilation of therapeutic ocean sounds designed to help induce sleep. The album can be found on streaming platforms such as Apple Music, Pandora, and YouTube Music.
Now, here's a bit of a more deep dive, Joey. When it comes to music in the brain and the transformative properties that music has on the brain, would it be able to help a damaged brain?
Yes, there has been research that has explored the effects of music therapy on older adults with severe damage to the brain from cognitive illnesses like dementia. It is believed that relaxing and sedative music may actually promote deep sleep as well as decrease stress in older adults. Now, in people with a traumatic brain injury or a TBI, it has been suggested in one Norwegian study published in 2019 that playing piano may actually provide some type of clinical benefit for mental health. But more research is needed in this area of study.
Scholar and author Joey Florez joining us as our special guest on Real Roots Radio as we're chatting about music and the brain. Now, I know personally when it comes to my two kids, they simply have to be listening to music while doing homework. And I've always wondered, can that really help them with concentration, or would it be considered more of a distraction?
I know for kids, music can serve as a distraction, especially if there are problems associated with hyperactivity or concentration. More and more kids are now being diagnosed with ADHD, partly because of the increased reliance on technology and certain mobile apps like TikTok that decreases the attention span due to constant exposure to endless short clips of random stimuli. What I've noticed from the research into music and concentration is that relaxing, slow-tempo music without lyrics can be very useful for children and college-age adults who need to get their homework done.
Now, it seems that music can really trigger different emotions in people. Why do you think that is?
Well, music has a very strong emotional impact. It may help to regulate mood and relieve stress or anxiety in some situations, but music has been demonstrated to reduce cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. Relaxing music in particular can cause the body to relax, lowering tension and generating a sense of serenity. The investigations of emotions in music is extremely complex. Music is often used for self-regulation of negative emotions, but many people find that listening to music helps lessen the effect of loneliness and isolation. Music can also be especially powerful when it expresses the emotion that we are experiencing at the time. For music to trigger different emotions, it has to do with how our brain pairs specific instrument sounds or tones with specific autobiographical memories at the time we are first exposed to the music. Vivid autobiographical memories can lead to complex emotional states like nostalgia. We often correlate tone, rhythm, and lyrical content with strong autobiographical recollections of the environment. Hence, when we recall our memory of the music, our brains also retrieve any related subjective feelings attached to it. There are many areas of the brain that are implicated in the specific process of music-evoked emotions, and it is still the subject of ongoing research.
Joey Florez joining us for just a couple of more minutes, scholar and author on Real Roots Radio, talking about music and its effects on the brain. Joey, before we go, you mentioned a few minutes ago you were talking about the ocean sounds that you had released to help people sleep when it came to that. Does certain types of music tend to trigger different emotions or responses in people?
We know from research that fast-paced, high-intensity music tends to elicit excitement and happiness, while slow-paced, low-key music may elicit sadness and frustration. Country music may actually be more likely to evoke emotions and bodily sensations during musical experiences than other genres, and this is because of the pitch and vibration from the plucking of a string of an acoustic guitar. But the overall emotional responses to different types of music varies based on how the person regulates arousal and mood, as well as their ability to find social relatedness in the music and store that subjective experience as an autobiographical memory.
Joey Florez has been our guest on Real Roots Radio. Joey, if folks would like to find you on the internet, find out more about your research, how can they do so?
You can follow me on Instagram at It's Joey Florez. I also have an official website, joeyflorez.com.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be on your show. Thanks for having me on.
FM 105.5 Eaton, 106.7 Wilmington, and 100.3 Xenia.